Hi guys, and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be trying on and doing 3 different looks with the brand new Tom Ford quad. I'm going to be using the one Hazy Sensuality. I did buy all 3 and I will be doing the other 2 in 2 separate videos. These arrived today, so I haven't even taken it out of the packet yet. So I'll be swatching it for the first time with you. I think that this one, Hazy Sensuality, is probably going to be my favourite out of the 3. When the promo picks came out for these, this is what I was drawn to, this quad, and hopefully it's going to be really, really gorgeous. So let's take this out of the packet. So it's just in the usual Tom Ford packaging. It has this little brown suede type pouch, and on the front has the Tom Ford logo, which the older quads didn't have, but he seems to be putting the Tom Ford on the front now. And the embossing on the eyeshadows themselves, because this is the wet and dry formula, that should have the Tom Ford logo on them as well. This quad is made in Italy and it has a shelf life of 12 months from date of opening, and it does come with the 2 applicators, which I may use today. I'll see how it goes. And here is Hazy Sensuality. So let me also have a really good look at this. This looks really beautiful, and actually the pink in there looks more like a rose pink, and these 2 shades up here look really gorgeous. I think they'll be beautiful for lightening up the eye look. And of course you've got, hopefully it's quite a deep sort of brown on the eye, so you can get some depth into the eye look. I think this is really, really lovely. So I'll just turn down the light in front of me and hold it up so you can take a good look. So this is a really beautiful colour story, and I'm looking forward to swatching it and trying it out and see how it performs. So I'm going to swatch it from top to bottom, left to right. So the first shade on the top left, and that's with 1 swatch, and then I'll go over again, 2, and the next one. These do feel really lovely. So again with the 1 swatch, and go over again with 2. I think it shows enough just with 1 swatch, but I just want to show you with the 1 swatch and with the second over as well. And then we'll go into this shade. So this is more like, it's more like a rose shade. It's really, really pretty. And finally we'll go into this brown here. So these 2 shades here, they feel more like a satin, and these 2 are the shimmer. And the first one that I swatched is probably a little bit more sparkly than this one here. So I think you're going to get some really great looks with this quad, not only with the shades but also with the different formula as well. So again, I'm just going to turn down the light and hold this up so you can take a good look. So it was these 2 shades that feel more like a satin, and these are the shimmers. And this one here, it is, I think it has a bit more sparkle than this one here. And all over, I would say this is a neutral towards a cool look. So for the third and final look, I will use all of the 4 shades. But for the first 2 eye looks, I think I'll concentrate maybe on a couple of shades at a time so you can get to see how they look. And just because this has this, even though it is a really, or it looks to be a really beautiful shade, doesn't mean you have to use this one using this quad. I think you can get quite a few different looks out of this. And I may even use some of them wet as well, since this is the wet and dry formula, so you can see how it looks both dry and wet as well. So I'm going to take the Sonia G, this is the Classic Crease, and I'm going to go into the pink shade. And I'm going to put this all over my lid. Now this is a beautiful shade. I'm just going in again. Because it's more of a rose and it's softer, I think you could just use the shadow just by itself. It's really, really beautiful. I'm going to take the Sonia G, the pencil one. I'm going to stay with the shade. And I'm going to run this under my lower lash line. And I'm just going to dip into there again. So this is quite a fluffy brush. I'm just going over the top just to buff it out a bit. And you definitely get quite a bit of payoff, considering this is a fluffy brush. If you use one more dense, you could get even more. I think now I'm going to go into one of the lighter shades. I think I'll go into this one here, and I'm going to put this over the top of the pink shade. I'm going to grab a Chukahodo brush. This is the F06, and just pop it over the top, and it just lightens it really, really beautifully. Then I'm going to take the Rapha number 3. I'm just going to stay with the shade and just put some of this in the inner corner and just along here on my lower lash line as well. And I think what I'll do, I won't use eyeliner because I've got to wash this off in a minute for my third and final look once I've finished my second look. I think I will use this brown shadow to give some definition to my upper lash line. So this is just with the two shadows, and I think just like this, that's a really beautiful look. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wet my Chukahodo brush. I'll just grab a setting spray. I've got the Dior Forever Perfect Fix here. So I'll just wet that. And now that this is damp, I'm going to go back into this. And let's go over that again and see. You definitely get more payoff. And this is where I think these Tom Ford Wet and Dry formulas are just absolutely gorgeous and just perform so beautifully as well. So you definitely get more impact. And like I was saying, I just think the two shades together look really beautiful. So now I'm just going to take my Chukahodo brush, going to give some definition to my upper lash line. And I didn't wet the brush to do this, and I think that does a great job of just giving some extra definition. I will put some mascara on once I've finished my second eye look, but for this one I'm just going to leave it like this. It's very simple, but I think it looks really, really beautiful. So for the second eye look, I'm going to concentrate more with this brown, and I would say this shade here. So I'm going to take the Rapha number 14, go into the brown, and I'm going to put some in the outer corner. I'm going to take it through my crease and just blend it above as well. And then just the same shadow, I'm going to put a little bit in the inner corner here, and just through the crease. And then I'm just going in with a little bit more and just try just build it up a little bit in the outer corner, and take a little bit more. I'm only lightly going in and just adding a little bit more through here as well. Then I'm just going to wipe my brush on the microfiber cloth I have in front of me so it's clean, and I'm just going to lightly blend the excess of what I put here and here just through here, and I'm going to do the same here as well. And then just using the same brush, I'll just go over here just to soften the edges a bit. Now I'm going to use the same shade with the Sonia G, the pencil one, same with the brown, and I'm going to run that under my lower lash line. I'll just go into it again and just build that up a little bit. Then I'm going to take the Sonia G, the flat definer, and I'm going to go into this shade here, and I'm going to put that through the middle. And I'm going to put it in my crease, and I'm going to take that above it as well. Now just wipe down the Rapha 3, stay with the shade, and I'm going to put that in a corner and through here as well. This is a really beautiful shade. And again, I'm going to use the brown shade to give some definition to my upper lash line, but this time I'm going to just wet the brush and just see if we can get a little bit more impact using that brown shade. So wet down, and let's go in again. So now I've put on a little bit of mascara. I didn't really layer it like I normally do because I do have to wash this off to do the third look. So this is look number 1. And here is look number 2. And like I said, for my third look, I will use all of the 4 shades. I don't know which one I like better. I did take this up higher using the pink. That was the only shade I put over here. And then just over the lid added this other shade here, which I think looks really beautiful. And it looks really beautiful when I wet the brush and put it on as well. But I think it looked nice without wetting the brush. It just depends how intense you want to go. And this side, just using the brown and this shade here. This is really, really beautiful. So like I was saying, you don't have to use the pink. You don't have to use all the 4 shades. I do love it with this brown shade here that you can use it to give some definition to the upper lash line without having to use an eyeliner. I think it looks really beautiful, and I don't know which one I prefer more. If I feel like wearing some pink, and it is a beautiful pink. It's such a gorgeous shadow. Some pinks can be just too bright or too much of that bubblegum, but this is really beautiful. And of course with the brown and the light in the middle, that's always a classic look, and I think that is really beautiful too. So now I'm going to wash this off, and then I'll be back and we'll do look number 3. So now let's get into the third and final look. All of the base makeup that I'm wearing today is nearly all Tom Ford with a little bit of bronzer, and I've even got just a little bit of contour on today as well. Everything that I'm putting on my face today, I will have listed and linked in the description box below. Now, I've also washed my brushes using Cinema Secrets because since I wet a couple of the brushes, I wanted them all fresh for this third look. So the Sonia G, this is the classic crease, and again, I'm going to start with this pink shade, and I'm going to take this all over the lid, and I'll take it up to about there as well. I'm just going to just tap in there again just to get a little bit more. As I said, I think this is quite a pigmented shade, and this is a fluffy brush, but if you wanted more payoff, then if you use something smaller, you could still use a fluffy brush, but if something smaller and more payoff, something like the Rapha 14, or you could put it on with something like the Sonia G Soft Shader to begin with, and then just blend it out a bit. But I really like this classic crease brush, and I just quite like adding a little bit and building it up. I'm going to take the Rapha 14 and go into the brown shade, and I'm going to put this on the outer corner, and I'm going to take that through the crease, and I'm going to take that above as well. And then I'm just going to add a little bit more, just to get a little bit more depth. Then we'll take the Sonia G Soft Shader. I'm going to stay with the brown shade, and I'm going to run that under my lower lash line. Then we'll take my Chukahodo brush and go into the shade here, and put that over the top of the pink and get it to meet where the brown shade is. And I'm going to put a little bit of that through here as well. Then we'll take the Rapha 3, and I'm going to go back into the brown because I just want it to be a little bit more built up just through here. And then I've wiped down this brush and I'm going to go into this shade, and this is going to go in the inner corner, and just through here as well, just very lightly. And then finally I've wet down this brush and I'm going to use this shade again instead of eyeliner. So for my blush today, I'm going to stay with this eyeshadow palette and I'm going to try the shade here. I'm going to go in fairly lightly and just see how this looks. Actually, I can go in again. Really, really pretty. I think this shade here works really, really beautiful as a blush. I think that it is really stunning as a blush. Absolutely gorgeous. Now I'm going to use one of the new Tom Ford lipsticks. These are called the Liquid Lip Luxe Mattes, and this is in the shade 120, and this is in Naked Haze. I bought 2 other shades as well, but they are a lot more bold. One's more of a berry plum, and the other one is it's a blue red. But for today's eye look, I thought this would go really, really well. And I really love the applicator tip in these for applying it. You can get a very precise line and it's really easy to put on. I'm quite enjoying the formula too. This is only about the second time that I've worn it, and they are matte, but I don't find them too drying, but I'll have to wear them a little bit more for my final thoughts, but I think they have really good staying power as well. So I'll just hold this up a bit closer so you can take a look at the applicator tip. So I think this eyeshadow quad is absolutely beautiful, and I think that the first 2 looks that I did were really lovely and all 4 work well together. Really a versatile quad. The formula works really well, both the dry and the wet. I just think it's really, really pretty, and I love how this worked as a blush. I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and I do love it when you can use an eyeshadow from a quad as a blush as well. And I also really like the shade with the whole look as well. I think altogether it looks really, really lovely. As I was saying, I'm still trialing out this, but I quite like it. And now I've had this on because I had a little bit of a break, so I've had this on about 15 minutes, I suppose, and it's definitely dried down, and I'll give it a kiss test. I always feel like Pepe Le Pew when I do this.
I am Pepe Le Pew, your lover.
And there is no transfer on my hand whatsoever, and it does have quite good stain power, but I just want to try it out a few more times just to see how it wears. But as I was saying, I do love it with this eyeshadow quad. I think it looks really, really lovely. So really beautiful quad, and I'm looking forward to trying the other 2 as well. They're more warmer and look like more of a beautiful summer type of sunset look, completely different to this one, but I'm dying to see how they look. I do think that they look really, really lovely. So that's it for today's video. I'd love it if you gave it a like and subscribed, and I will see you next time. Bye. It's all very tiring, isn't it?